The brand is great to have, but this is not the reason why people come. So at the beginning, people were thinking it's just the brand that, yeah, someone took the franchise and they're just doing whatever they want. So it was a lot of trying to convince people that we have a really strong technical program. The technical program is done by a committee back in the club. It's not us that we bring someone just to run a random program. It's very structured. And then here in this part of the word of mouth is very powerful. We started with few members, and then members started to bring their friends and so on. And this is how in a couple of years only we were at full capacity, and we're already looking into expanding to different facilities so we can accommodate more members. It was a very interesting ride. Back then, of course, the social media wasn't there.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Drive Phase podcast from Coordinate Sport. This is your show about sports founders, leaders, and experts, and the stories behind their business journeys. On today's episode, I'm lucky enough to be joined by Seif Tawfik, the founder and CEO of Stryx Sports, based out of Dubai. We had a great conversation around Seif's experience of growing up in Egypt and what sport meant to him at an early age, to becoming a professional footballer and having his career cut short at the age of 23, and what that meant for him in terms of the next stage in his life and his career. So he talks about that movement into corporate sales, and eventually to him founding and launching Stryx Sports, and being the part of the first Barcelona football academies, with him being the second location outside of Barcelona. We talk about his approach to partnerships, to hiring great people, to growing his business and tackling competition, working in a really competitive and commercial environment. So a great episode for anyone who's kind of building their business at the moment and in the trenches growing a soccer or sports academy. I think you really enjoy it. So yeah, take a listen, look, and hopefully leave us some comments. We'd love to hear your feedback and enjoy the show. Okay, I'm really excited to welcome Seif Tawfik, founder and CEO of Stryx Sport, the Dubai-based activity company and the leading sports provider for children in that region, to the show today. Welcome to the show, Seif.
Thank you, James. Really appreciate having me here. It's a pleasure, and looking forward for our conversation.
Yeah, me too, for sure. And what we always do, and obviously we're going to dive into the journey of how you founded and grew the company. But just to start off and give our listeners a bit of background on you, to get to know you a little bit better. Normally start talking about childhood and your experience of PE and sport growing up. So how would you describe that?
I grew up actually so much into sports. I was this kind of kid that you put me in any sports, I will perform well. Football has been always my sport since I was a kid, but at the early stages, I always had something else next to to football, sorry. So I was playing tennis till I was 10 years, and I was in the top five in my city for tennis. Then at 10, I just continued, and I shifted from tennis and I started to play squash along with football for a couple of years, and I reached up to a high ranking on the national level. Then by the age of 13, I decided just to focus on football, and this is has been my focus since then. And I played my first division game when I was 16 years old. It was in my local club in Alexandria, where I'm originally from. And yeah, since then I moved and I played up to the youth national team back in Egypt. I played in one of the top teams in Egypt and in Africa as well. And I had to quit when I was 23 years old due to a knee injury, which is a common case with football players. But yeah, I was always into sports, and it has been my career for a while.
Nice. And growing up in Egypt, then, what was the if we're going to, because a lot of our listeners UK based, US based, etc. What's the comparison with kind of PE and sport in schools there? Is it really curious in terms of how that's delivered, or is it a big focus? Or
At schools, usually sports are not that big. Back in the days, it wasn't that big, but we always had this local sports and social clubs, which something that was considered like our second home. This is where we spend all the time there if we are not at school or at home. So it's this big sports facilities where they have a social and a sports side, and there is all the kind of sports. So every club, you will find them having a football team, a handball team, basketball, volleyball, tennis, squash, all kind of sports. And this is actually where all the sports were happening, not at schools, but in these local clubs mainly.
cool. So I guess you had some pretty strong role models based out of those centres, right? In terms of, was it local coaches or kind of community figures that are running the session?
Yeah, it has been always local coaches who are hired by the clubs, and these clubs are just different. Some of them, they have first teams that play in first divisions, others second division, third divisions. In Egypt, you have up to fifth division. So most of these clubs, they played in a high level at some sort. But yeah, I was lucky is that I managed to be in a club where we just get the chance to play in the first division, or actually in the Premier League, Egyptian Premier League.
So that must have been, I guess, and we talked to a few guests where they've had their careers come to an end, I guess. So, and for you, if you were starting out at 16, obviously super talented and bright future, how difficult was that, having to end at 23, and what was the kind of, I guess, thought process there? What did you do? What did you do next?
It was tough, of course, because like any kid who's passionate about football, your dream was to reach to higher level and be super popular, super famous, and have all these nice things that comes with being a celebrity or a professional athlete. So it took me time to adjust and accept. And actually, it's something that you learn from sport, is that you don't give up. You always get challenges, you always face obstacles, but all you have to do is just like stand up and keep moving forward. So this is what I did, and then this is where my life and career completely shifted. I started working in IT and then automotive after this, and then now I'm lucky to be back again and working in sports, but now more on the management side. I don't coach, I don't I don't train or anything, but more on the management side.
So you've gone into that kind of corporate environment, like I said, IT and in automotive, and was that predominantly kind of the sales focused? And did you always know you wanted to start your own venture, or was it kind of just something that came out of the blue? You get like stuck in the rat race kind of thing.
Yeah, they were all sales roles, in whether when I was in the IT field and after this in automotive, it was basically all sales. I always knew that I wanted to do my own things, and have my own business. I wasn't focused on sports, to be honest, but I was always open and looking around for opportunities to start my own business. And I was lucky that one day I was at the right place at the right time, and the opportunity of having Stryx Sports came on. I just grabbed it and took it and put all the dedication and commitment, and yeah, I don't regret it. If time goes back, I would do exactly the same again.
Yeah, and so just trying to get a bit of a timeline in terms of when you launched and kind of stepped away from that kind of corporate career. When did you initially have the idea for Stryx, or was it a well thought out plan, business plan off the shelf? If I've been working on this plan and now it's time to execute, or like you said, it felt like it may be a moment of opportunity that you grabbed hold of?
It was basically a moment of opportunity. And what happened at this time, I was working in automotive, and I was having dinner with someone back in Cairo, and another gentleman walked in. We started to talk, and this gentleman happened to have a big franchise for a big football brand back in Cairo. I liked the idea to have this. I initiated the conversation with him and asked him if he would be interested to do this in Dubai. He was very excited about the idea. I came back, resigned, and started this. And he's my partner since then. And
You were working out of Dubai at the time, so for the automotive, it was a Mercedes, I think it's yeah. So
yes, Toyota. I was in Dubai working for Toyota. Mercedes was back in Egypt. Yeah, this time I was purely in automotive, and I wasn't having any idea where I'm going, or I had this vision that yeah, I want to open a sports business or anything. No, I'd be lying if I said so, but no, this is not what happened. No.
so your business partner now to this day, he initially had something over in Cairo, and that was a brand that they created, or is it?
No, it's Barcelona Football Academy.
Right, that's what about. Okay, so he had the rights to Barcelona Academy just in for the whole of Egypt, or just
No, it was only in Cairo at this point. And when we started our conversation, this sounded really interesting and exciting for me. And I just on the spot I offered him if this is something that he would be keen to explore in Dubai, and he was so excited about it. And yeah, came back and started this, and here we are now.
yeah, amazing. So yeah, when we're thinking about I guess what that looked like to start with, great. Obviously, you've got the brand behind you and the programs, etc. But is there I guess early stages? How did you go about getting that traction or launching into the Dubai market?
It was tough because yeah, the brand is great to have, but this is not the reason why people come. So at the beginning, people were thinking it's just the brand that yeah, someone took the franchise and they're just doing whatever they want. So it was a lot of trying to convince people that we have a really strong technical program. The technical program is done by a committee back in the club. It's not us that we bring someone just to run a random program. It's very structured. And then here in this part of the word of mouth is very powerful. So we started with few members, and then members started to bring their friends and so on. And this is how in couple of years only we were at full capacity, and we're already looking into expanding to different facilities so we can accommodate more members. So yeah, it was a very interesting ride. Back then, of course, the social media wasn't there. This was 2008, so it wasn't that popular where you can post things and people get the awareness and they can see and come and all these things like now. No, you had to do everything the old-fashioned ways, go around and distribute flyers, go to schools and talk to the kids, all this kind of things. So it was fun. It was an amazing learning experience.
Like you said, kind of top down from Barcelona. So this would be early stages, I suppose, of them selling the license to operate. At the time, how many academies were there? Kind of, I guess you say globally. I know obviously the Cairo one, but was there others around and kind of models that you're repeating? I know they're sharing the curriculum and the philosophy from the club, but from a business model wise, was there other ones you could follow?
Back then, it was only Cairo. Cairo was the first one ever. And to give credit to my partner, he was the one who came up with the idea and he went and pitched it for the club. So Cairo started in 2006 and it was the first Barca Academy ever. And then Dubai was the second one. So it was only us in the market. Then the club started to see the opportunity in this, and they started to structure this part of the football schools or academies in the club. And yeah, now I think they are the biggest club who have academies around the world. They have so many now. So
yeah, I was going to say, I think because there's maybe more competition now as well from other clubs as well coming into the market. I know Liverpool are pretty strong. I think I've seen Juventus out there as well with other. Is it just a case that every club has kind of copied that model or followed along with that model of licensing out their brand?
look, I cannot say if they copied or they didn't copy. I don't know what happened behind closed doors, but it was an obvious model, to be honest with you, that because it's not only about the commercial side, because if you look at it, it's a very tiny part when it comes to the commercial side compared to the big budgets that the clubs have. But it creates a lot of like fan base. It creates a lot of awareness, loyalty to the brand, which actually reflect on the longer run to have bigger fan base. Now with social media, you have more followers, which all translate to financial benefits to these clubs. Plus, a lot of these clubs as well, they do it for the CSR part. So for them, they feel the commitment that they would like to transmit their methodology and their way of playing to as many kids as possible. Not every kid can go to Barcelona or go to Juventus or Liverpool, but at least to be part of their school or academy program, it's a great experience for the kids. It's something that kids will be talking about and remembering for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, and so obviously, like you said, 2008 launched. Now, obviously, the scale is totally different from where it was then, and like you said, brought in all the kind of systemized marketing, etc., and using all the tools that we have available. But over that period, from a Barcelona perspective, what does your program look like now? I know you've got multi-locations now, and you always expanding into new areas.
Yeah, now as we speak, we have 3 locations in Dubai with over than 700 kids that train on a day-to-day basis in our program. We expanded as well in the region, so we have the Barcelona Academy in Jordan as well. That we started back in 2019, and we are always in the lookout for expanding in more region and give this opportunity to the kids. Barcelona is a great brand. It's a big brand. It's their methodology and way of playing is really amazing. So it's something unique in my opinion, and now I will talk as a father. I saw it with my son when he started and where he is now at his 15 years old age. It's really big development and and big progress in his football skills level, the way he sees and understand the game. It's really amazing. The program really works.
And what's it like recruiting coaches? I guess I said power the brand, etc. But to find though, you're gonna have to find really high quality coaches, right? To be able to transit. Not everyone can deliver. Even though the program's great, I'm sure not everyone can deliver it exactly how it needs to be done. So is it a challenge finding the right fit for you?
No, actually, the club make it really easy in this sense because in each project we have the head of the project, the local project director, who's assigned by the club. So he's an employee from the club who's based here to overlook the project. And this coaches, they are really highly qualified from the club, and they are the one who are here to train the coaches, making sure that they are delivering exactly the same quality that the club is requiring.
Nice. No, I didn't realise that they're that hands-on in terms of workforce. So moving more onto Stryx as a business model. Obviously, we've got Barca Academy there. What are the other areas? Obviously, as you've developed it over the years, you've diversified into other areas and have other projects, things like that. Can you speak to kind of that journey and kind of where you are now with all the services and?
Sure. Yeah. The first 5 years in our journey, we were only focused on our football academy. And then 2013, we started to diversify a little bit. We've seen an opportunity in the market that other sports as well having high demands, and not everyone likes football. So we started at this time, we set a plan that every 2 years we will start a new academy with a new sport. So we started in 2013 by establishing our own tennis academy. And then
so that was under your standalone brand then at that point, not
yes, it was a Stryx Sports Tennis Academy. And then 2015 we started our after school program. So we started to take these programs and go around to different schools where we give them a lighter version of the academy program for the school. 2017 we started our own rhythmic gymnastics academy, and 2019 we signed an agreement with NBA to operate the NBA basketball schools in Dubai. And then 21 we skipped a cycle because it was right after COVID and it didn't make sense to go and open with new activities. And now we are in the process to look into September 23. We have multiple options that we are looking at, and we are looking into introducing different sports. And our vision as well now is directed more into regional expansion as well. So we are established in Jordan. Now we are looking into growing in Egypt. We are looking into going to Qatar and so on. So we have a plan for a regional expansion.
Yes, you got that model kind of. It feels like you got it locked in, and you're able to replicate it with. You're swapping out the sport, replicating that, and then now geographically, it's like a really strong growth map trajectory. Curious on the NBA one, is that as hands on as the kind of Barca relationship? Are they sending staff across and helping you to kind of launch and manage, or sending managers into that?
Yes, yeah, it's the same structure. So our technical director is a coach who's assigned from the NBA directly, and he's the one overlooking the project and running the day-to-day sessions along with the coaches. So all the technical part is just NBA or Barcelona coming from them directly. The operation side, the customer relation, sales, all this kind of things. This is where we come in. But what's happening on court or on the field, it's basically a curriculum that we implement on a day-to-day basis.
Awesome. And so what do you find operating? Obviously, you touched on COVID there. That's obviously a massive challenge for everyone. But on a kind of day-to-day basis, like recurring challenges for you, growing the business or maintaining that quality. What are the things that always that are challenges for you, or for the teams or wider?
It's competition. We always have competition. Sports in Dubai is a big thing. There is big amount of football academies around in Dubai. Few of them they are really doing a good job as well. So yeah, it's mainly the competition. It's mainly setting up the expectation for parents as well, because sometimes parents just have very high expectations when it comes to sports. It's not about the expectations. It's about a lot of other factors that can make the kid a professional athlete.
Is that you meaning they're thinking that because I'm going to send my child to Barca Academy, that potentially they're going to play for Barcelona one day, or they're thinking that that's the straight pathway into first team or whatever?
Of course, this happens a lot of time, and even up to the level of that, I want my son to be a professional footballer. And sometimes the kids, they don't have what it takes to be a professional athlete. So we focus so much as well and trying to educate parents that sports is not only about being a professional athlete, but there is other factors about self-confidence, the social part, how to handle stress, and all this kind of experience and learning curves that they go through that will help them along in all their lives. We always communicate that maybe 1% will be professional athletes in our programs, but 100% are going to be human beings. So we try to teach them how to be a good human being, how to be humble, how to handle when they lose, when they win, to be down to earth, and all this kind of life skills that the kids will use on a day-to-day basis, whether it's sports or on outside of sports. So this is very important as well, because again, not everyone can be a professional athlete. It takes a lot of many factors to be present, and not only the skills. Sometimes it's the mental strength, is the commitment, it's the discipline. It's a big thing. It's not just, yeah, I have the skills, I can be a professional athlete. It doesn't happen.
Yeah, and then it's the being in the right place at the right time and having that little bit of luck as well, and being spotted and all those things. Yeah, add up. But no, I totally hear you on the kind of communicating those transferable skills, making sure that they know it's more than just the like the professional route. In terms, you touched on the market in Dubai, and it's intriguing for me as well, just trying to kind of understand what that looks like. So from the outside, yeah, Dubai looks like a great market commercially. You said obviously other people have noticed that. That's why there's so much competition, I guess. But as a whole, what's the structure in terms of I guess school provision, and like you mentioned, the after school? Is anything funded centrally, or is it all kind of B2C, parents paying for activities? How does it tend to work from a business perspective?
It's B2C. It mainly some schools, they offer some programs. So there is some of the schools that we offer the in-curriculum support as well. So we just basically go and help them run the PE sessions, whether it's a football session. We help with the school teams in some of the schools where we are working with. But the majority of the program, whether it's after school or academy program, it's paid by the parents.
Growing the team, I was curious in terms of you worked across different areas. You've obviously had the professional sport, the corporate life, etc. What kind of any philosophies or kind of approaches that you brought together? Because now you're working with high profile partners, you bring a lot of people together to build this business and keep growing and being successful. So do you have any kind of pillars that you always think, like, this is how I run my organization, or philosophies that you'd lean on?
Look, it's basically be committed. If you are committed and you always try to do your best, things fall into places. So we are committed to our partners, so we respect our partnership with them. We always try to deliver to their expectations. We are committed to the parents as well. We are committed to the kids. So it's all about the commitment, and always be honest and transparent in your relationship, whether with parents, with kids, with our partners. And eventually this is what gets you the reputation. And I believe in business, reputation is the key. If you have the reputation, if people feel that you are committed and you deliver up to their expectations, then you're fine. You're fine.
And to do that, obviously you have to bring on great people into the team. Is there an approach that you always take in terms of identifying those guys to help you, especially at scale now as you're getting bigger and bigger? You need to get those right people on board. How do you approach that?
Look, I believe that the key success of Stryx is that throughout the year I was lucky with the people who worked with me. I was always having great people who are very passionate about what they do, and they are putting 100% effort. So as you said, the key of the success is the people. And to identify these people, it's not easy, because you go through the whole process, and sometimes you don't know it. But I think I'm skillful in identifying this people, because I don't think it's luck for to stay with having like very strong team for 15 years, and they are the major success of our business, because they are the first interaction with the parents or with the kids. So the first people that they meet is either the coaches or the client relation team, and they are great. So of course it takes a phase of trial and error. Sometimes you have not the right people, but I think that the key is to take quick action and just training the people. Always communicate with them. Be there for your team. This is very important. If your team feels that they are protected, they will protect your business. So it's very important to always support your team. Be there for them. Show them that you are willing to get your hands dirty with them. It's not like you are sitting in an ivory tower and just letting them do all the works. It doesn't work. If you have to lead by example. So, and this eventually let the people just put all their effort and make sure that they are protecting the business the way that you want.
Yeah, for sure. What's next? I know you mentioned the kind of the geographical expansion and stuff. Are you going to say 3 or 5 years out from now, where would you like the business to be in terms of footprint or just impact, or what's the metric that you're optimizing for?
No, the next for us is that we are looking to now help the kids to have a full pathway, whether through education or through being professional if they have what it takes. So now we are helping kids to get scholarships and to go to colleges through sports. So this is something new that we are doing. We are getting a strong relationship now and a lot of discussions with clubs all over the world. So in case if we have kids who have the talents and the skills to go to the next level, we have this discussion with the clubs to offer this opportunity to the kids. And this is our focus now. We just don't want the kids by the age of 18 years old, they just stop and we don't have any interaction with them. No, we try to set them for success. And our promise to our members is that we will always take the kids to where he can be. So we always push him to his full potential. This full potential is is a wide term because this potential it's different from one to the other, but at least our role is to help these kids to go to their full potential and set them for success.
Interested in terms of how you differentiate yourself. I know you've got a great team. Talked about kind of recruiting them and having them on board that long, and they're working for you. How do you differentiate in that competitive market? And there's plenty of listeners who will have maybe similar challenges. How do you stand out against the other competitors that maybe offering like for like service, but you've got to have that kind of that USP, I guess?
I think consistency. So we've been consistent for 15 years. So we always try to improve. We never go back, and this give a lot of edge in the market, and make the parents believe in you that okay, you are there to stay. You don't change. Of course, there is ups and downs, but it's always to a certain extent. But you don't fall way behind where you can disappoint the parents, and they found out that they wasted 3-4 years in their kids' sports career with you, and then suddenly you change thing or you are not there anymore or any of the things. So consistency has been a major factor in our competitive edge.
Yeah, I'm sure you've seen plenty of people come and go, I guess, in that 15-year period. People just starting out and lasting a year or whatever and moving on.
True, especially that Dubai is an expat community, so there is a lot of expats. Majority of people here are expats, so people come and go all the time. So parents need to feel that there is a consistency, and you are here to stay, and we are here to stay.
Yeah. I'm just switching gears slightly, just a bit more, slightly more personal question in terms of performance. We were talking about kind of personal performance and being at our best as much as possible. It's not always possible to be there every day, but do you have anything that you kind of go to make sure you're staying on the ball or in peak performance? Is it exercise, reading, whatever it might be? Have you got some things that you always do every day?
Yeah, I exercise regularly. I go to the gym every day. I play paddle tennis at least 3 times a week. I have some hobby that are not related to sports. I do carpentry on my weekends. It's just my hobby. It's just like I have my own small workshop at home where I just go, and this is my Zen place.
That's like the decompression, right?
Exactly. And I think the main motivation is that I love what I do. I'm passionate about sports. It gives me a self-satisfaction when I see, people happy, people appreciating what we do. And I always believe that, yeah, just do what you love and you won't have to work a day in your life. And actually, this is what I do. I don't feel that I wake up coming to work. I just wake up and go do what I passionate about. And I think this is a very important thing.
No, yeah, totally agree, man. If you're gonna look back, or normally we have this question where we talk about just reviewing and kind of reflecting on career so far, and maybe look back and think. Normally ask 2 questions. So one is, if you're going to give advice, go back and give advice to yourself as you're starting out. What would that be? And then I guess talking about any major disappointments or opportunities that might have slipped by. So yeah, if you're able to tell us what your advice would be first, that would be great. Advice to your past self.
Maybe to slow down a little bit, since I started this, and again, it comes out of passion. I do this at least 12 hours a day. I'm at work, either I'm at the office or I'm out there on site watching training, talking to parents and all this thing. So maybe, I would have slowed down a little bit. For opportunities that I missed, of course, there is a lot of opportunities that I missed, but I don't believe in regrets. I believe everything happens for a reason. So if it didn't happen back then, I'm sure it happened for a better reason, not for just a reason. So I don't believe in regrets. I just learn from it, and I try to do better the next time I'm in a similar situation and move on, but no regrets.
No, for sure. And those opportunities, they normally come back around anyway in a better way when you're ready for them.
100%.
Seif, really thankful for you to be on today, and grateful for you sharing with us and being so transparent. So thanks for that. And if anyone's interested, do you sell any of that carpentry, any of those things that you're making? Do you want us to put a link in there?